Hey guys, I'm Taff. I'm administrator of the County Choir YouTube channel, NCFC County Choir, and I do my own blogs on Newport County. It's called Taffs Word, Weekly Word. I do it on a weekly basis, just a bedroom blog, just like this basically. I also talk about certain matters in football in general. Sometimes I do a spin-off on Newport County, but sometimes I do talk about pressing matters in world football. And on this occasion, it is actually about a world football pressing matter. I'm going to be talking about the proposed introduction of video technology into the officiating of professional football matches. In my opinion, it is something that should have come in 10, 15 years ago. Under Sepp Blatter's rule, it was never going to come in. For some reason, he had a thing about the human element in football. It's like, well, it's the human element that's making all these goddamn mistakes, like that's costing teams, and that have cost teams for a long, long time now. While the technology is available, bloody invest in it. Because at the end of the day, FIFA could be investing in this instead of putting the money in their own pissing pockets, But unfortunately, that's what we've had to deal with. We're into a new era of football now, so let's start making the most of the money that they're getting. Because football is a billion pound industry. How can you say there's not enough money to make it better? That's the whole point. It's a non-profit organisation, FIFA, so any money they're making, they should be reinvesting into the game. Grassroots is getting looked after at the moment. Youth football's getting looked after. Women's football's getting looked after. How about we look after men's football? The football that matters most to everybody. Not saying that the football I just mentioned doesn't mean anything. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the one that really means to everything, to everybody, is men's senior football. And like I say, we've got to be looking after it. And I think referees, they come under a lot of stick. They're human. These people are human beings. They're going to make mistakes. So while you can take the human element away and actually give them the opportunity to use technology to get the decisions right, you're going to be seeing respect for referees. If they know there's somebody looking at the video, to know for a fact they're making the right decision, how can they complain? I mean, there's like one decision in 10 is one of those contestable decisions which splits opinion. 1 in 10, I think. I think the rest of them, they're pretty straightforward, but the referee can miss it or, can interpret it wrong. I mean, if you've got someone watching on a video, you can see if it's a dive for a penalty or not. You can see if the player's running away from goal and whether it's worthy of a red card. You can see these things. If it's a two-footed challenge, if it's not a challenge deemed worthy of a red card, you can see it all through the video. Somebody sitting there watching a video while it's being recorded by, obviously your Sky TVs and people like that. It's going to be that, if it's available to you, you've got to use it. I mean, all this money they put into this goal line technology, the special sensors and the buzzer on the wrist and all that. I mean, it's pointless. It's absolutely pointless. If you'd have brought video technology in the first place, you wouldn't have to worry about all that messing around. It's on the bloody video for you anyway. I think over the years, refereeing decisions have cost too many teams too many points in league campaigns, progression in big tournaments. Chelsea versus Barcelona semi-final of the Champions League, I can't think what year it was. That referee, he absolutely robbed Chelsea from a Champions League final. I mean, how people are not still outraged at that now, I don't understand. That's a Champions League final they've been robbed of. West Ham in the Premier League now have been robbed of 3 points. Well, no, I don't think it's 3 points in each game, but where they've dropped points in their last 5 games, they've been robbed by the referee. They've been fiercely robbed, West Ham. West Ham should be sitting in a Champions League qualification spot right now, but they're not because of refereeing mistakes. So there's no time like the present. Next season it's got to be done. I think it's got to be trialled at the Euros, and then it's whether there's time to get it in place, I don't know, but it's got to be trialled at the Euros if they can do it, and if it works well, then they've got to get it in all professional football. I mean, right down to League Two, because there's no way my club are missing out on this. Newport County, we have been absolutely, what's the word I can use? Robbed is a bit of a weak word, to be honest with you. You know, we've been swindled. You know, we've had the friggin' Mickey taken out of us this year. I'm trying to choose my words, sensibly so I don't make an absolute twat of myself, which I just did by calling myself a twat. I don't care anymore, actually. Newport County, we've been fucking robbed this year in many games. We wouldn't be talking relegation at all this year if it wasn't for, the referees. I mean, I'm not saying every single game, but I'd say there's at least 6 or 7 games that we've been done over pretty badly. We were worthy of a point at Leyton Orient, and we had an absolute laughable penalty given. Yeovil just gone, a laughable penalty. 0-0 that game would have been all day long. Barnet, we were the better team. Barnet break, push our player over. Their player deliberately trips himself up over his legs and gets him fucking sent off as well. I mean, there's a penalty and a sending off, and it should be a free kick first and foremost, and then it's not even a penalty. And there's been many other games I just can't. If I go into it, I'm going to be here all night. But we've had a lot of games this year where we've been robbed by referees, and if the video technology was available to them, I'd say 9 times out of 10 they're making the right calls, and we're getting the points we're worthy of. Rather than the likes of Kevin Ellison at Morecambe taking the piss out of us anymore. At least we've had the last laugh there because we just beat them 2-1 in our last game against them. So I'm happy with that. Can't stand Morecambe. But yeah, in my opinion, video technology has got to be introduced, and there's no bullshit crap talk of the games being slowed down and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, if it's good enough for the egg chasers, it's good enough for us, yeah? You only tend to find that clubs like Man United, who benefited over the last few decades from poor refereeing, will oppose it, because that'll mean the old saying, if anything goes at Old Trafford, saying goes out the window, because no, the video technology is going to come in and they're going to make right decisions at Old Trafford. No, I don't mean to just pick on Man United, but that's just an example of clubs who do benefit from refereeing decisions, opposing this. This has got to be brought in before poor officiating. And I can't really say you can call it poor officiating, human officiating. When it's purely down to the human, the human brain and the human eye making these decisions. I mean, if 3 of them, or even in some cases, like in Europe, there's 5 of them, sometimes still get the decision wrong. But when they can see a close-up replay, they can get the decision right. Cricket do it. I know cricket's a slow, boring game anyway, but, they'd never make wrong decisions. I mean, it's very, very rare. Rugby, very, very rare wrong decisions. So why don't no? But the thing is, there's usually a bad decision talking point every single weekend, at least 2 to 3 sometimes. That's got to be stopped. The right decisions have got to be made, because when a team plays well enough to deserve the win, and they have it taken away from them because of somebody else's mistake, it's not on. Injustice in football does me something rotten, and I just want it to stop. I even felt sorry for Cardiff City when they played. I think it was Birmingham away, and they got given a penalty against them that shouldn't have been. I think it got given for handball and it didn't hit his arms. Something stupid like that it was. And I mean, it was one of those that if the referee had the video technology available to them, they had somebody watching the game on the TV, could have said, no, it's not a penalty, then there you go. Whether it was a goal kick, corner, or whatever, that's the right decision. That's what decision will end up being made. Like I said, I could just go on and on about it all night, to be honest with you. But video technology in. So if you disagree with me, feel free to leave a message or 2 under here. If you agree with me, I mean, share this around. I mean, get people agreeing with it. Get people sending out their own opinions. Don't leave it to just myself putting out a blog. I mean, if you're watching this, all you got to do is put your phone on selfie mode, press record, talk like I am, and put it up on YouTube or Facebook or something like that. Let's get this moving. So I'm not expecting to start a whole friggin' football changing thing from my own bedroom, but if I can make just the smallest bit of difference, then it'll be worthwhile. So anyway, cheers for that then, guys. Video technology in, football will improve. Nice one.